Hi everyone, Angela here. These Christmas tree gift bags come in 3 different sizes. Watch till the end and I'll show you what'll fit inside each one. The link for this pattern and the full tutorial is down on the left and in the description below. Cut out the pattern pieces for the size you'd like to make. In this video, I'm making the medium size gift bag. Also cut out the small notches on each piece. Cut 2 of piece A out of your main outer fabric. Because it has a lot of angles, you may find it easier to trace around and then cut out with scissors. Cut tiny notches at the top and bottom. With the lining right sides together, cut 2 of piece B and then the notches at the bottom and top. I'm just chalking the notches at the bottom for the opening so you can see. Clip together if you need to. For the top channel, I'm using a gold lame. You can use any contrast fabric. Cut 2 of piece C and the notches in the center. Cut just 1 of piece D out of brown fabric or any contrast fabric and the notches in the center. I'm using the Juki TL 2010Q sewing machine. The link for this and the tools I use are down in the description below. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, click the link for Echidna Sewing and Juki Junkies for North America. For the channels, place the fabric wrong side up and fold over each short end 1/4 of an inch twice. Edge stitch close to the inner fold, back stitching at the start and finish. Fold piece D for the trunk in half with right sides together, matching the short ends. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, stitch both sides, back stitching at the start and finish. Turn it right side out and use a knitting needle or a point turner to carefully push out the bottom corners. Then center the side seams and crease with your fingers. Center the trunk onto the bottom of one of the outer pieces, matching the notches, and stitch in place close to the edges. Place the other outer piece on top with right sides together, matching all the edges, and clip if you need to. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, stitch around the sides and bottom, back stitching at the start and finish. At the outer corners, stop 1/4 of an inch from the edge. With the needle down, lift the presser foot and pivot. To figure out where to pivot for the inner corners, imagine the seam line coming up from the next edge until it's in line with your needle. Pivot at this point. Don't worry if it's not exact for this project. You can use an awl or a point turner like I'm using to help with the stitching. You can find links for the tools I use down in the description. Again, using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, stitch around the lining, leaving an opening between the notches at the bottom. Backstitch at the start and finish and at the bottom notches. This next step is optional. Trim the corners at the bottom without cutting the stitching. On the outer piece, we need to clip into the angles at the top and all the inner corners. Clip as close to the corner as possible, being really careful not to cut the stitching. If you're finding this video helpful, make sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and leave a comment below. As always, I'd love to know where in the world you're watching from. You can also show your support by becoming a member or tapping the thanks button down below. For all the outer corners, trim off the point and also on each side to remove the bulk, again being careful not to cut the stitching. Be sure to check out my other Christmas tree gift bag design with boxed corners at the bottom. It has a flat base so the bag can stand up, making it perfect for bottles of wine and other gifts. Open up the side seams at the top and press flat with your fingers. Go in and gather up the bag like a sock, fold in the seams of the points and push in. This makes it just a bit easier when turning them out. Turn right side out and use the knitting needle again to carefully push out all the corners. Fold a channel piece in half with wrong sides together, matching the longer edges. With right sides together, center it onto the top of the outer bag. Match all the edges and center notches and clip in place. The sides of the channel should end just before the side seam. Clip both ends in place, then repeat on the other side. With the wrong side of the bag on top, stitch all around close to the edge to hold the channel in place. Make sure to keep the side seams open flat. With right sides together, place the outer bag into the lining. Open flat the lining seams at the top. Match the side seams and the top edges, then clip all around if you need to. Using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and the outer bag on top, stitch all around. There's no need to backstitch, just overlap your stitching at the end. From the opening, pull out the bag so that the lining is right side out. Push the corners out of the way and fold in the seam allowances at the opening. Match the folds and edge stitch it closed, backstitching at the start and finish. Fold the lining inside and push the corners together at the bottom. Pull on the bottom trunk and the top channel and press along the seams. For the drawstrings, I'm using thin cording and I've put clear tape around the ends to prevent fraying. I'm using this type of bodkin to pull it through. You can also use a safety pin or a hairpin. Thread the cord in at one end and go all around so it comes out on the same side. Match the ends and tie them together in a knot. Repeat with the second cord, threading it in from the other side. In the small bag, you can easily fit a few candies or chocolates and a gift card. In the medium bag that was just made, you can fit in some big soaps and a couple of chocolates. You could use the large bag for a small toy or a t-shirt. I hope you have fun making these gift bags. Thanks again for watching. Take care and happy holidays.